Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'll be reviewing the Patek Philippe Aquanaut Chronograph in stainless steel, reference 5968A-001. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of the Aquanaut, then I'll tell you about where this watch stands in the lineup of other similar Aquanauts, then I'll tell you about the case bezel dial bracelet movement, finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start from the history. Well, the Aquanaut came out or was released, I think around something like 1997, which makes it approximately 30 years, right around the time when the offshore AP was released, which I believe was in 1995. And I kind of have to say that Patek has really copied AP in the sports watch category. But copying is not necessarily a bad thing. Apple has copied many things, and so have many other brands. And it's not about who copied who. I would say it's about who executed better. And so that is up for debate. AP makes a great watch, but so does Patek Philippe. And Patek Philippe is AP's biggest competitor. Okay, and so how did the Aquanaut come to be? Well, the predecessor to it is the Nautilus, which was created in 1976, and then around, what does that make it, almost 30 years later, Patek comes out with the Aquanaut, which is the sportier version of the Nautilus. The Nautilus is actually already super sporty, but they came out with an even sportier version, and they call it the Aquanaut, which instead of using a metal bracelet, it uses a rubber strap, and that rubber strap makes the watch look even more sporty than the younger brother, which is the Aquanaut. And in my opinion, it makes the watch it makes it one of the most modern looking watches that you can get. Okay, with that said, that is a little bit about the history. Let's talk about where this watch stands in the lineup of other similar Aquanauts. Now, this one came out in 2018, and it's at the time when it came out, actually still is, it's the biggest Aquanaut. Now, they were making Aquanauts at size 40 millimeter, and Patek decided, you know what, we're gonna start making some big watches. And Patek is always kind of late to the game, if I'm being honest. The big watch craze was somewhere around 2008, 2010, something like that. So they didn't come out with big watches until 2018. I'm not sure why, but and when they did, it wasn't even that big. 42 millimeters is not all that big. It's pretty small, actually, for a sports watch. I mean, not small, but not big either. Okay, but anyways, suffice it to say, basically, it is Patek Philippe's largest sports watch. They don't make any sports watch larger than 42. Well, yes, they make one, a Nautilus, which I think is a 40th anniversary. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the in-production ones. So it's the largest of all the sports watches. And it in my opinion, looks the sportiest of all the sports watches because it's in steel. 2, it has these orange accents. And 3, it's very large. So, which makes it very sporty. And Patek being one of the top, if not the top watchmaker, right up there with Audemars Piguet, Richard Mille, and Rolex, it makes sense that this watch would do very well. In fact, the retail price on this is quite low. I mean, low if in comparison to what the resale value. The retail is right around 60,000 or a little bit less. After tax will probably be like mid 60s, but the watch is selling for more than double that, more than 130K actually. USD on the secondary market. So you can imagine how many of these, how much other stuff you need to buy to get one of these at your authorized dealer. It's nearly impossible. You have to have at least probably, I would say, close to $1 million, if not more, at your authorized dealer to even qualify for one of these, which it doesn't really make sense to spend $1 million so you can save 60,000, right? Better makes more sense to buy it online, buy it online at jazztime.com, which is actually how we sold this one. But of course, if you want another one, we can simply get you one. Okay, now with that said, I told you I was going to tell you about where this watch stands in the lineup. This is the steel version. They a few years later in 21, so this one came out in 2018, but in 21 Patek released a white gold version of this, which was green and blue, which I can say it did not bad, not great either. It's just kind of like it is okay. That was 21, 22, 21, I think it was. And then in 22 and 23, I think it was maybe 23, they came out with a rose gold version of this, which actually did quite well, but you know, still not that great. It did okay. This one, surprisingly, the steel goes for more than the rose gold or the white gold. You would think it would be the opposite, but actually it's not. So, and I think it has to do with, I'll get to it in a little bit, but yeah. So basically it's the most expensive Aquanaut that's made in steel, right? And the biggest and the sportiest. Okay, now let's start talking about the watch itself. Let's start with the case, which is probably one of the main reasons why this watch sells for so much more. It's 42.2 millimeters. It's one of the largest, or actually it is the largest of all the Aquanauts, and it has a thickness of 11.9 millimeters. Call it 12 millimeters, a very nice thickness for it. So as a sports watch, you don't want it to be too thin like a dress watch, and you don't want it to be too skinny or too small. So 42 by 12 is a perfect size, and the market agrees because they charge they have driven the price up of this watch to double retail. So it just does really well. Okay, that's the case, and you know I can say that Patek does a great job of mixing their polishing between brushed and satin finish. Brushed on the top with this bezel. They have, and the case has all these cool angles, and I believe it's because of the chronograph. When you add the chronograph, although I don't know, I mean the chronograph is useful. It definitely is useful. That's for sure. Probably one of the most useful functions, but I'm not sure how useful it is being only 60 minutes. A lot of things are timed more than 60 minutes. For example, like your drive to somewhere or something. Okay, but anyways, with these pushers, it gives a lot of depth on the right-hand side. And then, of course, just the overall rounded edges and beautiful octagonal design on it just makes the case look fantastic. And the market agrees. Okay. So that's the case. Let's talk about the bezel now. The bezel has, it has an octagonal bezel. Looking at it, I actually could not tell this is an octagon. It looks like it's like a square, a rounded square circle or something. But it actually says on the website it's meant to be an octagon, which means it has 8 sides that are kind of rounded to look like a circle. And guess which else other watch is rounded? So is the Nautilus. And guess where the Nautilus came from? It came from the Royal Oak. So yeah, Gerald Genta, the person who designed all these watches, from there, that's he made some of the most famous watches in the world, which is what you're looking at. Okay, anyways, that's the bezel. Okay, it's an octagon, but they didn't want to make it like the Royal Oak, so they took the same bezel and they rounded it instead of making it very angular. AP's stuff is very angular, and Patek is more traditional, so they've made it much softer. Okay, that's the bezel. Instantly recognizable, in my opinion, one of the best looking watches out there on the market ever created. A huge fan of it. Okay, let's look at the dial here. Now, this is another reason why this watch is selling for double retail, over 60,000 over list. Actually, even more than that, 70,000+ over list. Why? Okay, well, first of all, they call it the checkerboard dial. It kind of looks like a globe to me, where it has bigger checkers in the center and smaller ones toward that periphery. And it has kind of a smoked dial where the center is bright and the edges are darker. They call it the sunburst charcoal gray with black gradient rim. Okay, so, I mean, basically it's lighter in the center, darker toward the edge. And they say they have an embossed Aquanaut pattern, which is probably pretty much this checkerboard pattern. And white gold applied numerals. So the numerals are actually applied with white gold. Of course, that's no surprise on a watch like this. And then there's luminescent on the hour marker, so you could actually read the watch at night. Okay, so it's also very legible, by the way, at night. Not only is it sporty, it's also legible, which a lot of watches are not legible at night. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, anyways, Aquanaut does a great job of keeping the watch legible. Okay, back to this dial though. What makes it so special is that they took a very interesting, strange color. They added orange. Now, why would you add orange to the dial? Well, because you're Patek Philippe and you can get away with it. Black and orange. It looks like Halloween practically, right? So, and these orange accents, they did it just enough, not enough to make it look like, oh, like what is this? But just like, wow, damn, that's nice. On the second hand, on the 60-minute counter, on the periphery, just just enough. And that would lead us to the next section, which is what strap it comes with. Well, you have it on a black strap, okay? The black strap is kind of a standard strap. It's kind of no surprise there. A lot of watches are on black strap, but they also include an orange strap. So if you want to swap it out, that you can be orange, now the watch looks super sporty. You can wear it, and it really makes the watch stick out, almost like a Richard Mille or like an offshore. It just really stands out with this very funky color. And yeah, it's a one of a kind. There is no other Aquanaut that looks like this. All the other ones, the white gold or the rose gold, they look beautiful, but they don't stand out like this. Okay, all right, that's it. That's this part for. Okay, so next thing to talk about is the movement. Now the movement here, I can't really say it's all that special. It's a CH28-520C caliber. It's a flyback chronograph with a vertical clutch. Okay, what that means is that you can press the bottom button without having to stop it at top. That's what a flyback chrono is. A vertical clutch allows it, when you stop it, the second hand doesn't jump. It's like this little column that moves, and it clicks in place and just basically makes a very smooth running chronograph. Okay, not a big deal. I mean, for a watch this expensive, is what you expect. The movement looks like any other beautiful Patek movement. I can't really say so much about it. They've been using this movement for a long time. They use it in the 5980 Nautilus. It's actually the same exact movement. So not a whole lot to say about it. It has a diameter of 30 millimeters, which I have to say actually is a little bit small for this. Patek or AP, by example, when they have a 41 millimeter, they use a 31 or 32 millimeter movement. Okay, well, anyways, not that small. Has a number of parts, 308, which is really nice. Power reserve 45 to 55, which, by the way, I think is very low considering the price point of this watch. Many watches nowadays are 70 hours or above. That includes AP, AP, Rolex, even Jaeger and Panerai, many brands, even Omega. Almost everybody has a longer power reserve than Patek. But okay, fine, whatever. It still looks badass, and it's a very nice movement. Okay, that's it. We've gone to the end of this. Now let's start talking about, let me break it down and give you my thoughts. Now, as you can probably imagine, I'm a very big fan of this watch. In fact, of all the Nautiluses, I would pick two of them that I would like the best. I like this one. This is number 1 and 2. I can't tell which one I put further. And I also like the travel time, the 5164R. Why? Because that one is for smaller wrists. This is for larger wrists. I have to say though, whoever buys this watch, if it's you kind of need a little bit bigger of a wrist. 42 millimeters is not a small watch. It's actually quite a large watch. And so you kind of have to have a larger wrist for this. So if you don't have larger wrist, then I think the travel time would be a better fit for you. But anyways, I do like this watch. I think it's super sporty. It stands out. It's very classy, beautiful. This orange color never gets boring. You can wear it subtly on a black strap, or if you want to be outrageous, you can wear it on the orange strap. And it's gonna maintain its value amazingly, and it just looks badass. So look, if you want to buy this watch at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in Jazz Time, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.